It's early 2013. A series of failures have left a young me without any sense of identity. Personal turmoil and the death of loved ones have left me a shell of a person. I didn't know who I was, but whoever they were, I hated them. I was intelligent and in many ways skilled, but these things couldn't feel any more banal and pointless. Throughout this time, I had been a fan of Vocaloid. I had a cursory knowledge of the Kagero project, having seen Imagination Forest out of context. After the drop of Lost Time Memory in March that year, I'd gone and listened to the rest of the project, finding myself intrigued by the characters and trying to solve the mystery of the story. I wasn't a massive fan, not really. Transparent Answer was quite relatable, but I didn't think that the story was really much of note. Hell, it was hardly there at all. However, a month later, this perception would be altered forever. For on the 22nd of April, Ayano's Theory of Happiness would be released on Nico Nico Doga. It has been nearly 5 years since then, and the Kagero project is now one of my favorite stories put to pen, and Ayano Tateyama is my favorite character in fiction. All we knew was that Ayano was Shintaro's friend, his schoolmate, that one tragic day killed herself for reasons Shintaro never noticed, and is the cause of his lasting grief. She wasn't very smart, but was sincere and kind. Move to Lost Time Memory and we see that her memory haunts Shintaro. Come to the song's climax and we see Shintaro finally able to accept the death of his classmate, walk forward past it. Ayano was a piece of Shintaro's personal arc. She lived, she died, and she was put to rest. There were still questions, like what had been haunting her all that time when she was alive, and why she was depicted with red eyes in Lost Time Memory. But for the most part, Ayano had served her purpose. When Jin released a crossfade and we learned that, amongst others, Ayano would be getting a song for herself, I didn't quite get it or know what it could possibly be about. Ayano was a secondary character, one who had a past with Shintaro, but that was it. She was just the girl who died. Nothing more to say. Ayano's Theory of Happiness was the greatest thing I never knew I needed. The song starts and we quickly learn that Ayano had known Kido, Kano, and Seto in her youth. How contrived, I thought. The tired twist of having all the characters tangentially know each other as children. As the song went on, though, this feeling quickly faded. Ayano is simple, earnest. Even as a younger kid, she is clearly the person we had grown to know through Shintaro's songs. She welcomes her new siblings and empathizes with their anxiety and fear. This was all well and good. But halfway through the first verse, Ayano changes the game. Momo hated her eyes. They gave her a means to support her damaged household, but also robbed her of individuality and invaded her personal life. Mary hated her eyes. They destroyed her family, Mary convinced that they made her a monster. Throughout the project, the red has been scary, a mark of one's difference and their fear. Seto Kosuke hates his eyes. But what does Ayano tell him? Red is the color of a hero, so there's no need to be afraid. Ayano steals the symbol of their fear and turns it into a mark of hope. She dons the scarf, giving these kids a place where they don't have to be scared. They don't have to hate themselves. The Mekakushi don, and the lives of the trio would never be the same after that. Ayano believes that no one needs to be alone, that a simple act of kindness can help and heal. Suddenly, there's so much more meaning to Tomei Answer, to her relationship with Shintaro, and, as we would learn, Takane as well. So many lives have been changed by this girl. What's really moving is that Ayano is no Seigi no Mikata. She has no lofty ideas about heroism. If asked why she does everything she does, she would probably just tilt her head and not know how to answer. Ayano doesn't believe in being a hero. She simply is one through the power of her kindness. By this point, we're halfway through the song and I am completely enamored with Ayano. It's this simplicity that makes her so understandable and her message so sincere. But this is just the primer for the real heart of Ayano's Theory of Happiness that was to come. I think the question that everyone had going into the song was pretty clear. Why did Ayano kill herself? She was so bubbly and energetic throughout Tomei Answer, and the first half of this song just reinforces that idea. Shintaro hypothesizes that all along Ayano had been coping with some sort of depression, that we only ever saw her happy because that was all that Shintaro ever cared to notice. But that's not quite true. Ayaka's death, in the grander context of the story, actually seems to matter more to most of the other characters than to Ayano. Kido is greatly affected, having lost her own mother at an early age and having renewed that maternal love in Ayaka, only to lose it once again. Kojiro, perhaps more than anyone else, is devastated, the love of his life gone forever. Ayano was certainly damaged by the death of her mother, but this is not what eventually takes her up to the roof. In this section of the song, we learn a lot of plot. We learn why Kojiro is seemingly the antagonist, and we learn why Haruka and Takane lost their bodies. And then the second chorus of the song hits, and every single time, I need to fight back the tears. If I had those red eyes myself, could I save someone's future? I am a sucker for the noble sacrifice. Ayano killed herself in order to go to the Kagero days and steal a snake from the clearing eyes, preventing the Medusa from being reborn. Simply said, to save her family and friends, she held back the crying, smiled through the pain, and jumped off the roof. Ayano's kindness, her love, is simply unparalleled. She isn't just admirable, she is a saint. But what makes her a great character and not just a Mary Sue plot device is that this climactic moment, her sacrifice to save everyone, carries plenty of repercussions with it. Ayano's death shakes Shintaro and every member of her family to their core. Shintaro drops out of school, becomes a shut-in who hates everything about himself. Her family is saved from immediate destruction, but every member is devastated, her home broken and racked with grief. Ayano is not a perfect person. She loves others but fails to appreciate what she herself does for them. At the end of the song, she concludes that her siblings surely must be upset with her, hoping nothing more that, to the end, she was able to be a big sister for them. Ayano doesn't change the lives of the people around her because she wants to be some sort of hero. She does it without even knowing because it is the right thing to do, because she is filled with love and believes in the good of people. Because Ayano gave Seto a chance, Seto is able to give Mary a chance. Because Ayano gave Kido a chance, Kido is able to give Momo a chance. Because Ayano gave Kano a chance, Kano was able to grit his teeth through all of his hurting alone and fight to protect his family just like she did. Because Ayano gave Shintaro a chance, Shintaro was able to help Hibiya, to forgive Kano, and to help everyone start moving on with their lives again. So many people were changed by the simple act of one girl telling others that they don't have to be afraid, that they don't need to hate the world, that red is the color of heroes, and anyone can be a hero. When I heard this song, I hated the person that I was. I hated the world around me, myself, and my uselessness. I saw suffering. I saw hurting. I understood it, but could do nothing about it. At that time, Ayano's simple message that no one should have to suffer on their own, a message that was lost on her herself as she bottled up the aching, that the world can be great and that one's weaknesses can be strengths, really struck a chord with me. I had no identity, so why not be a hero? Not some big lofty ally of justice, but a good person who makes the lives of others better. Ayano gave me a sort of salvation and helped me to start move again. Being kind is so simple. When you hurt and ache, all you want is someone to reach out to you and tell you that it'll be okay. So why not be that person when people you care for are in pain? Nothing has ever led me to believe in the good of people, that anyone can make a difference in the world around them, that the future can be bright, and that no one has to hate themselves like Ayano Tateyama. The world can be painful, but remember that happiness is a curious thing. So I hope all of you can love tomorrow. Thank you.